You folks, we give you gems here. Where are you going to get these gems? These life gems. Don't worry, Hoteps been told you.
Hoteps been told you.
So Venezuela is popping off, man, and that was some strange shit, man. I seen APC running people over. That Guada, what's his name? Guado?
Guido.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it.
In the morning, he talk about, come on, people, come take to the streets. I got some military people with me. They got he had like 20 or 30 of military cats with him. There was probably the CIA assets that came around trying to get the other Venezuelan soldiers to defect.
Yo, he trained under the Canvas organization, which is an offshoot of Optor, something like that.
Yeah.
But his name Canvas, and he's been trained and he's been in Venezuela since Chavez, and he was running against the running protests against Chavez. This guy's been an asset for a long time, y'all. Come on now, like it's all documented too. He got to go look at his deleted tweets when they got all his old pictures from when he was in Venezuela protesting and then the murders that he's involved with in Venezuela. You know what I mean? So people want to say what they say about Maduro. I'm not saying Maduro's no saint, but y'all look crazy when y'all believe the narrative. Like, it's one thing to understand and say, look, if they came out and said, we about to go Venezuela and take their shit, I'd be like, all right, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least y'all was honest. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, y'all going to procure some assets. Instead, it's like, oh, Maduro's evil and we have to bring democracy to the region. And it's like, here y'all go with the Iraq story and the Libya. And it's just like, for conservatives, it's like, yo, how many times y'all gonna read the same script and not know you watching the same movie?
I couldn't believe this shit, man. I was seeing on the timeline, man. I can't believe people are falling for this shit. Like, I thought it was America first, man. I thought somebody campaigned for years, for a couple years, and talked for a couple years in office about America first. And here we are with this regime change bullshit once again. Like, I mean, it's up to the Venezuelan people, if we're sitting there putting sanctions on and giving help to this fucking Guaido guy and fucking recognizing him as the official president of fucking Venezuela, then we're taking part in the attempted coup. Like, people want to play dumb, man. Like, listen, we're doing this. That's our guy. That's Guaido. That's our boy. That's us.
Yes.
That's who we want in office.
Yes.
Don't play it any other way. Stop with this. You care about socialism fail and you care about the Venezuelan people. No, you don't. You don't. You know what I'm saying? And stop it. Something like, just like you said, this is why I was like, man, this is why I said about Obama with Syria. Like, if Obama said, listen, these white folks want me to fucking take Bashar al-Assad out of office. Mm-hmm. Now, we can either send the Marines in or I could give the guns to the jihadists and they'll try to take them. He said that. I've been like, all right, man. Well, fucking do whatever. You know what I'm saying? But don't lie about it and then try to make me look stupid and believe these propaganda and lies. I'm not gonna fall for this shit. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be honest. And what was the Russian thing? Oh, now we're blaming Russia for everything. Pompeo said Maduro was going to leave, but Vladimir Putin talked him out of it. Like, come on,
man. Who Pompeo used to work for? Did he work for them alphabets?
Yeah, CIA.
All right, so peep the play, right? Pompeo goes on CNN, fake news network, and he says Maduro was gonna hop on a plane and leave and fly to Cuba, and Russia talked him out of it. All right. First of all, if that's true,
Right.
how you know that?
Right.
Oh, so you got somebody on the inside. Boom. Told on yourself. Told on yourself right there. Second of all, that sounds fugazi. So the play there is this. If you make Maduro look weak, more of the military will defect. More people will say, all right, fine, Maduro gave up. Let's just bring this new guy in. These are the subversive silent weapons that they use, and they use the media to pull a lot of this stuff off. But that's the play with that whole spiel on CNN. I saw that and I'm like, oh, you ain't slick, bro.
Yeah, because it was definitely because CNN, they came out with Coup. There was like, they were having a coup. They thought it was lit. They thought this shit was lit, man. It was like, oh man. Then you can see, if you look at it, you see how the apparatus works. You know what I'm saying? They try to go down because Maduro, he cut all that shit off. He cut CNN off. He cut PBS off. He cut all them stations off, and they in there pumping propaganda to Venezuela. They said, cut the fucking stations, man. Fucking they just talking a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, because the stations is a silent weapon. He is smart. He's smart. You better cut that thing off because they have your people thinking something totally different than what's really going on. The Guido had a publicity stunt. That's what he had.
Yeah.
He had a lot of help. But we got Guido leaving Venezuela. I want to say in 2007 he comes to the United States, and or is it 97? And he trains under it's 97. He trains under, I forget the person's name, but a former IMF director. Now, if anybody knows anything about central banks, IMF is the central bank of the world. So that kind of tell you, and not only that, he moved to DC. He moved to DC. So this guy's been, I asked it for a very long time. He's been working for us for a very long time. It's just ridiculous. And another thing too is, just watch this. This is how I'm about to expose your favorite Twitter political dad. I'm about to kill him right here.
Who's that?
When we talk about Venezuela, what they always say, oh, look, socialism. Oh, look, socialism. It's like, all right, no doubt. You got the basic bitch answer. But what inside of socialism specifically is killing these economies? Right?
Right.
The answer is the central bank distributing fiat notes and printing money to pay off debt, creating hyperinflation. So when I said the neocons act like Maduro inherited a utopian society, then installed his socialism and everything went to crap. No, he inherited crap from Chavez, and Chavez, and even when I said Maduro, they're like, well, what about Chavez? It was Chavez before him. Chavez inherited shit too. It's been shit since the 80s, since the 70s.
Right.
I want to say since 87 is when they started more IMF policies, more central bank policies. That's under Perez, I believe. Why y'all not talking about that? You know why? Because redacted. Right? What Lenin said. Lenin, your beloved communist. He said 90% of creating a communist nation is installing a central bank. When we talk about socialism, they always say it's a centralization of goods and services and the property and blah, blah, blah. But they always stop. They never talk about that money, though. They never say, oh, what about the centralization of the money? Meanwhile, Amsher Rothschild been told you, all I want is control of your money. I don't care who make your laws. Give me control of your money. But nobody want to have that conversation. That's how you could point out a fraud, right? Oh, socialism, socialism. No, it's not socialism. That's a very broad term to use. What specifically? Let's talk about these central banks. They don't want to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because they scared.
They definitely are, man. They abolish the Fed, audit the Fed, abolish the Fed. Ron Paul for president.
I back that.
It also leads into Iran sanctions. You know, they're threatening to sanction anybody even does business with Iran. You buy anything from Iran, you know, you're gonna get sanctioned. I think OPEC said there's no way they can take them off the oil markets. You know, there seem to be going overdrive with these Iran sanctions, and we know what happened to sanctions with Iraq. You know, we sanctioned them to death, then eventually, you know, we invaded them twice. You know, and sanctioning a country really leaves them. You know, we could just see with Venezuela. You know, it leaves them in dire straits. Iran has threatened to the Straits of Hormuz. They said if we can't sell no oil is going out of the Straits of Hormuz. You know, a lot of people like, well, they can't stop our Navy and everything else. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, that's a lot. That if you look at it militarily, I mean, there's one thing about technology, and then there's one thing about military tactics. You know, if they have the advantage there, that long coast, you have to go through Iran's whole coastline there, you know, and missile technology, they could put a hurting on any tankers coming out that strait. So I don't know, man. It's just, you know, the redacted in the House of Saud is talking about they want to put this more pressure on Iran. You know, we got to do it, and it's whack, man. It's really whack.
I just think the timing is ironic, as you know, Iran being one of the allies of Venezuela, and they sanction Iran right before they go out to Venezuela. I think that's great timing, great military strategy.
Yeah, we got a couple of donations. Chad, thanks, Chad. What's up? The wars make military and the Fed your daddy. That makes it easier for them to disarm you. Support wars. You support being disarmed.
That's true.
Also, Jeff Curtis. Hotep Jesus on point. Central banking. Go crypto.
Word. Go crypto for real.